downhill project.
It's exactly, man. It's really hard to keep your head right because the worst possible thing I could do is lose my temper with these people because, that's counterproductive. But man, I really don't know. Other than I went online, I spoke to some people. I sent out, Monday and Tuesday I had sent out emails. I know I bounced one to you,
right?
To NBC, to ABC, Fox News.
What did they say?
NBC is the only one got back to me. They said we're going to transfer the story to their newspaper. And
okay.
I had never heard nothing. You were actually the only one that came back to me. So
the worst fucking media you could ever come to.
It was either this or yell it out my front window, I guess.
No, but we can actually. You should actually. I'm honored that you even asked me because,
sure, man. Absolutely.
Because we're heard all over the world. So we're not just catching like.
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
We're all over the world, so we're not just catching. The people in Antarctica or wherever they're listening, and it can help somebody. Did you see a picture of the teachers in Israel?
No.
They have guns.
Jeez.
They have automatic
I did see
guns.
that. I did see that. Yeah, they're carrying fucking big ass guns.
Yeah, and and now my kid's safe. The picture said.
Yeah.
Bree's here.
Hi.
How are you?
I can't hear myself. Hold on. Oh, I still can't hear myself.
Hey, you know what? You should be honored. Mike Lapatino was wearing those. We'll get to that later. We're talking. Sean's here, Bree. This is Sean Ryan. He was a comedian. He was on Tuesday's show. He wanted to come on and talk about it. He had an issue with his child at school, so that's why he's here. Plus the events of Tuesday. And Bree just came from a vigil.
Oh, jeez.
Did you just...
The main thing I wanted to say, too, I wanted to put out there right now. My son is not a weak kid. He's not a quiet kid. He's not the ones that are usually very affected by bullying. My son, a little background, he's got a background in Kempo. He's been boxing since he was a young child. Football player, he's not the average size 10-year-old. He's a pretty big kid.
All right.
And the only reason he didn't do nothing to this child is because he wants to be a good kid. He don't want to, be hurting people.
All right.
But after I start telling a story and I hear all of these people in my own community have these issues, then I go online and I'm watching movies of, fathers whose kids have committed suicide because of this nasty bullying. Mm-hmm. And I said, I can't do nothing for this whole country, but for my community, I can. And I reached out to some people, the people from the movie The Bullying Project.
Right.
Lucky for me, I have, friends in the industry where I can reach out, and I got a forum to talk to them. So these guys are going to help me out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start my own group in my community, and we're going to start, taking the bull by the horns. It's going to be, the backbone of this group will be, parents, concerned parents, and we're going to do everything. We're going to push to the end of the limit for every child in our community.
How can we help?
Well, start a group in your neighborhood, in your community, in your child's school system. But what you're doing now is helping because we're talking about it. Maybe
knowledge is power.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Somebody else will hear this story and plant the seed, and they'll say, you know what, enough's enough. You don't really think about it, when you're every day, but when I put it on my Facebook that day. I don't ever put my personal life on there, ever. But after what happened, everybody's emotions are rising and all of that. I put it on. Then I'm getting all of these contacts from these people I had no idea had this problem with their child. And some people might be a little embarrassed to talk about it, But these are young kids, man. And you guys know we're all older.
Yeah.
This world is a hell of a lot tougher than when we come up.
Oh, sure is.
And
totally.
to mess up the kids' education now is just, it's rough, man.
I'm glad you had this subject. I have my daughter here, which Danny knows the situation. I get goosebumps just having her in my room. A lot of good things have happened to me lately, and I want to share everything, but it's just I'm not trying to take away from anything. There can be happiness after Tuesday. I didn't think a lot of things. I called Danny last week, wanted to jump off a building, literally, but he talked me down. And it was a euphoria. I was feeling like certain way. I remember, Bree, we've been friends for a while. I've never talked about anything.
No, not really.
In my past. And I think, I think this is why people do what they do. Mm-hmm. You know, bullies. They get how do you know that bully don't get beat up at home?
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he gets stuff jammed up his ass. I'm not trying to be funny, but you know he's not.
Exactly, man.
Or being kicked like a dog.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Abused in any way.
Right.
Verbally, physically, emotionally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you touched on that because after everything that happened on Friday and all these stories that you hear about these kids committing suicide at such a young age, there was just that young lady, one of the most recent ones. She was 15 years old. Some kid talked her into showing him her boobs on the internet, kept the picture and made it go viral pretty much.
Wow.
And this poor little girl changed schools, and the pictures got sent to her other school, her new school, and she ended up killing herself. And the problem is that these kids now don't understand how hurtful things can be.
Sure.
I mean, they ruined that little she was 15 years old.
Yeah.
They ruined her whole existence. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I don't have kids, but I have a niece and a nephew, and after everything that happened on Friday, all I could think of is, my niece is 9 years old. She would have been in that, if that was the school she was going to.
She was in that age bracket.
She would have been there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was in that age bracket. And my sister works in a school. Mm-hmm. And my sister told me, she was like, I tell you what, I would have been the first one dead. Where she works, she sees the front door, and she literally would have been the first one dead. And it's even scarier for me to think about stuff like that because you never think that things are going to happen so close to home.
Right.
And one of my friends from North Carolina, which is a huge state, it takes 8 hours from east to west to get across, and 4.5, maybe 5 from north to south.
Yeah.
And she was like, is this disgusting shit? I hope this stuff isn't happening by your house. And I was like, well, the funny thing is it's only 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
We live in a small state, so everything's close to home.
Close to home, exactly.
And even though I've never felt more sad for so many strangers in my entire life. Mm-hmm. And granted, this kid did something really the most disgusting, heinous crime I could ever think of. But like Pete said, you never know what goes on behind closed doors at home.
No, you don't.
You know what I mean?
We don't know what this kid went through. He actually went to New Jersey. He actually killed his father. Mm-hmm. He drove from... You ever drive from New Jersey to Connecticut, bro? There's a lot of thinking.
There's a lot of thinking.
It's a lot of premeditation. Bro.
Yeah.
A lot of
depending on where from Jersey, too. You know what I mean?
He came back.
Yeah, Hoboken. I don't know where that is.
Here's my problem. How the fuck did he get through that door with all that machinery?
I don't know.
I already had handguns, so they can be considered.
No, but he had over 100 rounds or something, they were saying.
Yeah, but handgun rounds are a lot smaller. Have you ever shot a handgun before?
Well, that's a lot of... It was an automatic...
But you could carry... And they said that he fired at close range, too. So the thing is that...
Christ.
You can conceal... And I don't want anybody to think I'm like some kind of sicko because I know this kind of stuff, but I used to shoot.
Yeah.
And you could conceal a couple clips in each pocket, and men wear looser jeans than women do, so you can conceal quite a few
She said looser
rounds.
jeans.
Well, some men wear looser jeans than women, but you can conceal a good amount of rounds for a handgun.
Sure.
And they have semi-automatic handguns. They probably have fully automatic handguns for all I know. I don't know a lot about guns, but I do know that a clip for a handgun is a hell of a lot smaller than a banana clip for like an AK-47 or something. You know what I mean?
She said banana clip.
I used to wear those in the 80s.
I still wear banana hammocks.
No, but
my daughter's right there.
But at the same time, you really don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and you don't know what is going through somebody's mind when you. And the problem in this instance, and you know what? In most cases, because these sickos are such cowards that they end up killing themselves. So you never get a freaking answer.
Right.
It's always either that or the police end up killing them. Just trying to take them out or at least wound them so they'll stop firing.
Right.
But most cases it ends up that the shooter ends up getting killed. Mm-hmm. So then you have no knowledge of what disgusting thought was going through their mind. And
and what got him to that stage.
Exactly. And what got him to that point. Because you know what? I don't care if his brother was involved. His brother, for all we know, is never going to tell anything of why he wanted to go on this disturbing killing spree. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, I don't know if you heard the story about Sean's kid. He, long story short, he was threatened with a knife, and the principal knew about it and never bothered to call Sean. Never
That's
bothered to call
ridiculous.
Sean. This guy's a stand-up comedian. He's been in New York. Look how down he is about it.
Yeah, it's
Did this happen recently?
last week.
Last week.
Yeah. They had an ongoing, goings on with these the principal and the superintendent of schools, and and then this happens Friday, and it's like they were making so light of what happened to my son, and then something like this happens, it reminds you to take it a little more seriously.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And the way she made me feel like she was gambling with my son's life because she was on a hunch that this child
That it wasn't. That nothing
joking.
wasn't going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we should hear it from this generation. I got Emily here, who's my daughter's. I think these two got something going on. Yesterday, they was all in the bathroom.
I'm a girl. Take it from a girl. That's what we do.
Pee and everything together.
Yeah.
That's hot.
You know what? The first time I actually ever peed with another girl in the bathroom with me, I can't believe I'm telling this on the radio. Yes, I can. Anyways, my sister took me to a college party, and I was 12 years old, okay? I have such a good sister. I love her. So it was like her friends. Like, I had already grown up around them, whatever. So she took me to this party, and I was like, I have to pee. And my friend that was with me was like, I have to pee too. And one of the girls was like, just go together. I was like, what? I don't do that. I was like offended. She was like, no, that's what everybody in college does. First time I ever, and then I think I was just like, I gotta go to the bathroom. You wanna come with me? Even now I go out and we'll be out at the bar, and Amy or Ashley will be like,
What'd you say? Amy?
I have this bad.
Amy?
I have this bad.
Gas?
No, I'll tell you about Amy in a minute. That's why I have Amy on the brain.
Which Amy?
I'll tell you in a freaking minute. Not that Amy.
No, not that
Not
one.
that Amy.
No.
So, Ashley will be like, I gotta pee. You wanna come with me? And we'll be like snapping photos in the bathroom. That's just how girls are. It's different. It's not like boys. You don't go in the bathroom and sword fight.
So, I think Sean just looked at your tits.
I was checking to see if my water
scarf is
tasted like her burp.
I could probably vomit in that glass for you if you want me to.
This is the
That
last
mic, that's the one we were telling you. The mic might be somewhere you not.
Yeah.
I usually fart on my mic. Deep. Hello.
We have someone.
Sorry, I forgot. When I used to having minors around.
They're good. We actually have a minor in here that is a victim of bully, right? Yeah. You were a victim. Come over here, honey.
Come over here.
Over here.
Wanna sit on my lap.
Sit on Bree's lap.
Okay, you can sit on my lap. I'm talking to my I ain't gonna bite. Hard.
Don't let her lie to you. She will.
She does bite.
I don't bite
She nibbles.
Make sure you're talking to the mic, though.
All right, tell us your story, Emily.
Nice and close.
You look close. People are gonna force your head down. Go ahead. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't really that bad, but people that were supposedly like my best friends, they texted me and they called me a bunch of names and stuff, and they just kept threatening me, and it got really bad to the point where I didn't even go to school or anything, and it made me really sad all the time. And it was just bad.
We can hear it in your voice. Can you hear it in your voice?
Absolutely.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Honey, you sure?
One thing I read too when I was doing my research, Pete, is they say 1 in 8 children in this country stays home from school 1 day a month because of bullying.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
That's a huge stat, man. That should be eye-opening. That there's no reason why this young lady should be staying home from school because she's scared of her so-called friends.
Did you hear it in her voice?
You could hear it.
I don't mean to call her out. But
Absolutely, you could hear it.
Absolutely.
The minute she started to tell the story, it come right back to her, all the feelings and all that.
And the thing is, it's like, when I was younger, believe it or not, when I was a child, you would never be able to tell from my personality now, but I got bullied hard in school. I'd come home crying every day off the bus because this one kid, and I feel bad saying anything, but he ended up passing away quite a few years ago now. But
you just bullied her off your knee.
No, I didn't bully her off. She can stay there. But I was actually bullied as a child, and to this day, I couldn't even tell you why they picked on me because I have no idea. It was probably something really stupid back then, but it was so hurtful then that I would come home crying hysterically every day to the point where my sister, who's 7 years older than me, had to go down the street to this kid's house, knock on his door, and say, if you ever fucking talk to my sister again, I'll beat the ever-loving shit out of you. And it...
Fuck you!
Yeah, it pretty much stopped after that, but the problem is that, you know, it's been happening for forever, but it never got to the point now where young children were taking their own lives. You know what I mean? Like, now I have that. I mean, you guys both know. I have that go fuck yourself attitude. Like, you don't like me, you can lick